So did the CGI ruin the episode? Yo, what's good, supported reviews and heavy spoilers for episode 1 of NieR Automata, you've been warned. Another brand new winter 2023 anime based on a video game, which I have never played before, but what do I think of episode 1? The episode begins with what appears to be the same voice actress of Mikasa Ackerman, talking about how long will she continue to battle in this battlefield, continuing to fight in a world filled with deception and fabrication, and she's carrying the body of NieR, the boy character, and she pretty much ends her little monologue screaming out into the sky. I feel like this was a flash forward from the events of the episode, but already what a way to set the mood for the series. I mean, look at the gloomy atmosphere. The only spot of color is the ring around her weapon, possibly symbolizing to the fact that her fighting abilities could bring an end to this war. And then we cut to a bunch of CGI spaceships, and yeah, the CGI for the most part is a little bit hit or miss. There are moments where the CGI does look pretty good, and then there are moments where it looks pretty bad. But the more I thought about the CGI, the more I thought, actually, maybe they're trying to be faithful to the video game. The video game is CGI, so maybe incorporating CGI elements is probably a fan service element, acknowledging the fact that this series is based on a video game, and I'm guessing they wanted to keep as faithful to the game as possible. So maybe these rocket ship designs and these robots are all more or less a similar design and animation style as the video game. But the main character, Tubi, is fighting these space robots alongside some of her other partners who are all dying. She goes to the meeting point where she confronts a series of enemy robots, and then we get the OP. I think the singer did the theme song for season 2 of Demon Slayer. I do love the black and the white color palette. A pretty damn creative opening. We cut to a boy whose eyes are being masked by a cloth. He sort of reminds me of Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen, just his whole persona, the fact that he has silver hair. But unlike Tubi, NieR is a little bit more relaxed and less tense when it comes to missions. He's told to go assist Tubi, and we cut to Tubi fighting against those robots, and the way she fights, she has a sort of graceful fighting technique as she's slicing the robots. The animation looked beautiful, although there were a lot of little fan servicey moments of the camera sort of zooming up her skirts, which some people were not a fan of, but it is what it is. Just when she has difficulty fighting against one of the enemy robots, NieR comes in to save the day. And it looks like the two of them have never met one another, so this appears to be their very first mission together. As NieR goes along and investigates the rest of the facility, Tubi goes on this internal monologue about how this entire facility was once a weapons factory for humans, but now the enemy seems to be using this factory to increase the productions of machine life forms. Whoever has taken over this factory is not on the side of humanity. Throughout the entire episode, we've only seen Tubi and NieR, the only two looking human people, but all their enemies appear to be robots. So did the humans create the robots, or were the robots created by something else? NieR then talks about how it's fun having a partner, but Tubi then tells him that they are forbidden from harboring emotions, which is a pretty odd statement considering the fact that at the beginning of the episode she seemed to be quite devastated from carrying the body of NieR. So whoever their boss is, are they told by the higher-ups to not show any emotions? I'm guessing they are taught from a young age to be these cold assassin killers. So the statement has got me thinking that they are possibly some sort of half-human, half-robot, like a cyborg in a way. But just as Tubi makes it to the enemy's core unit facility, they are spotted by this mega gigantic transformer-looking dude. And the CGI sometimes looks good, sometimes looks kind of wonky, but that's just a bit of a nitpick, as the scenes with Tubi just flying around really made up for the CGI. I mean, my gosh, look at the animation of her just flying around. She actually reminds me of Mikasa back in the early days of Attack on Titan. NieR saves Tubi, and then he hacks into the transformer looking dude. We go into what appears to be the internal system of the transformer guy. The aspect ratio changes, which is kind of cool. NieR pretty much hacks into the main transformer guy and deactivates him, but the transformer guy gives one last hit to NieR and he tumbles down to the ground. And yeah, he's completely battered and bruised, and yeah, we do see that, yeah, he looks to be like some sort of cyborg. I really like the irony of this scene. The beginning of the episode, you have Tubi telling NieR that they shouldn't show any emotions in battle, yet Tubi is showing a lot of compassion and sympathy towards NieR, and NieR is the one to tell Tubi to take pride in their battles. which is a complete 180 from both characters. It's almost like they learned from one another. The transformer looking dude seems to have gained consciousness again, but 2B attacks it with one final attack and it pretty much looks like it's defeated for now. But it looks like some more enemy robots have risen up, but then the boy shows a black box and tells 2B to also take hers out. The two of them acknowledge one another and tap the black boxes together, and a huge bomb just sort of gets activated between the two black boxes and destroys all the enemies. What on earth is this power? Is it some sort of bomb that they have to use at a last resort? But after the explosion, it cuts to what appears to be outer space and a floating space station. 2B then wakes up and then starts to run and confronts NieR, and it's revealed that the two of them uploaded their data to the main system and it looks like their bodies were somehow restored. But unfortunately, NieR doesn't have any memories of what happened before the big attack. They both salute and say the words glory to mankind, so it pretty much confirms that these two people are serving mankind. And the final shot is 2B gripping her fist at the possible frustration that NieR lost his memories. I'm guessing she's kind of irritated because she formed a connection with him and now he don't remember. Oh well, but that's how the episode ends. We get what appears to be some sort of post-credits gag of two puppets of NieR and 2B explaining the different power rankings and scales. It's a bit confusing here, so I might need a little simpler breakdown of it. But overall, this was a pretty good episode. The action was amazing. I like the characters, but the CGI at times wasn't its best, but that's a nitpick. And some of the lore was very confusing. It was quite hard for me to follow what was happening in terms of what the enemy is and their goals and objectives, but hopefully they will definitely explain more in the upcoming episodes. So overall, I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10 and a B. I think people have been a bit overly critical towards the CGI and some of the fan service scenes. It's really not that bad. But what did you think? Do you like this episode? Do you hate it? Like for more anime reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings and more. Boy, do the views, signing out.